Have you ever stopped to think about the number 0? It seems so simple, right? It's just nothing. But what if I told you that this nothing is actually one of the most powerful and revolutionary ideas in human history? The story of 0 is an incredible journey of discovery, rejection, and eventual triumph that literally changed the world. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into the amazing history of 0. Before we had the 0 we know and love today, ancient civilizations had a serious problem. Imagine being a Babylonian accountant around 2000 BC. You're using a sexagesimal system. Besudokuju, and you need to write down the number 3601. You'd write the symbol 41, then a space, then the symbol for 60. But wait, how do you distinguish that from the number 61? Or even 3,660. It was confusing! To solve this, the Babylonians came up with a clever hack, a placeholder. They used two wedge-like symbols to signify an empty spot, kind of like how we might use a dash. This wasn't a true 0, because you couldn't do math with it, it was just a separator. But it was a critical first step, an acknowledgement that the absence of a value needed its own symbol. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, the Mayan civilization was developing one of the most advanced calendars of the ancient world. To make their complex astronomical calculations work, they also needed around 350 AD, they started using a shell-like glyph to represent this absence. Like the Babylonians, their 0 was a placeholder. You couldn't add it or subtract it. But it was essential for their long-count calendar, allowing them to track vast spans of time with incredible precision. So we have two independent inventions of a placeholder 0, showing just how necessary this concept was for advanced societies. Still, the world was waiting for 0 to become a number in its own right. That revolutionary leap happened in India. Around the 7th century AD, the brilliant Indian astronomer and mathematician Brahmagupta did something nobody had done before. He took the concept of nothingness, which in Sanskrit was called niya, and defined it as a number. He created rules for it. He stated that a number minus itself is 0. He also figured out that adding or subtracting 0 from a number doesn't change it. This was groundbreaking. For the first time, 0 wasn't just it was a legitimate mathematical entity. Brahmagupta even tried to tackle division by 0, though he stumbled a bit, suggesting it resulted in a fraction with 0 in the denominator. While not quite right, his willingness to even explore these ideas was revolutionary. This Indian concept of 0, represented by a simple dot or a small circle, was the true birth of the number 0 as we know it. So how did this brilliant Indian idea spread to the rest of the world? Through the flourishing Islamic Golden Age, Arab scholars were fascinated by the advancements coming out of India. Around the 9th century, the Persian mathematician whose name gives us the word algorithm, wrote a book explaining the Indian numeral system. He introduced the numbers 0 through 9 to the Arabic-speaking world. The Arabic word for niya was sifr, which means empty. This is the root of our word cipher, and, you guessed it, 0. The Arab world embraced this new system. It was elegant, efficient, and incredibly powerful for everything from commerce and engineering to astronomy. This Hindu-Arabic numeral system, with 0 at its core, began its slow but steady journey westward. You might think Europe would have jumped at this amazing new tool, but you'd be wrong. The introduction of 0 into Europe was met with suspicion and outright hostility. For one, Roman numerals were deeply entrenched. They didn't have a 0 and were clunky for arithmetic, but they were familiar. More importantly, 0 clashed with philosophical and religious ideas of the time. How could nothing be something? Too many. It seemed like a void, a concept linked to the devil and chaos, contradicting the idea of a perfect, full creation by God. In 1299, the city of Florence, Italy, actually banned the use of Arabic numerals, including 0, by its bankers, fearing they were easier to forge than Roman numerals. 0 was literally an outlaw, but you can't keep a good idea down. Despite the bans, merchants and mathematicians, like the famous Italian Leonardo of Pisa, also known as Fibonacci, saw the immense practical value of zero. In his 1202 book, Liber Abaci, Fibonacci championed the Hindu-Arabic system, demonstrating how much easier it made calculation for bookkeeping, interest, and currency conversion. Slowly but surely, pragmatism won out over prejudice. As trade and finance grew more complex during the Renaissance, the need for a better number system became undeniable. Zero, once an outcast, became the indispensable tool of commerce and science, quietly powering Europe's economic and intellectual boom. The story doesn't end there. The adoption of zero fundamentally changed mathematics forever. It was the key that unlocked the door to algebra. With zero, we could define negative numbers as those less than zero. We could solve complex equations like x plus 5 equals 5. The answer, x equals 0, was now a valid number. This paved the way for René Descartes to develop the Cartesian coordinate system in the 17th century. That's the graph paper you used in school, with its x and y axis crossing at the origin point 0, 0. Without zero, there is no origin. Without the coordinate system, Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz might never have independently developed calculus. Calculus is the mathematics of change, and it relies on the concept of limits, of getting infinitely close to zero. From engineering skyscrapers to predicting planetary orbits, none of it would be possible without zero. And then came the digital age. At the heart of every computer, every smartphone, every single piece of digital technology you use is a simple concept. Binary code. This is a system that uses only 2 digits, 1 and 0. On and off. True and false. Presence and absence. That little circle, born as a placeholder in Babylon and given its power in India, is literally the language of our modern world. Every email you send, every video you watch, every game you play is, at its most fundamental level, a ridiculously long sequence of ones and zeros. Zero is not just a number. It's half of the entire digital universe. From an ancient accounting headache to the bedrock of modern civilization, zero has proven that sometimes the most powerful thing in the world can be, well, nothing at all. So the next time you write a zero, remember its incredible journey. It's a symbol that represents a profound intellectual leap, a story of cultural exchange, and a testament to the power of an idea to overcome resistance and reshape the world. It's the hero of numbers, the champion of nothing, and a silent partner in nearly every aspect of our lives. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the history of zero. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the amazing stories behind the world we live in. Let me know in the comments what other everyday concepts you'd like to explore. Until next time, stay curious.